Welcome to NYC Now, your source for local news in and around New York City from WNYC. It's Wednesday, July 9th. Here's the morning headlines from Michael Hill.
There's a new twist in the fight between the mayor and the city council over solitary confinement on Rikers. The city council passed legislation in late 2023 barring jail staff from locking people up by themselves for a certain amount of time. Mayor Adams objected and signed emergency orders to block that law. And last week, a state judge said those orders did not follow proper protocol, so the law should stand. Now, a federal judge says a monitor who oversees conditions on Rikers needs to evaluate the law first and determine if it's safe. A performing arts group housed at an iconic Upper West Side church is being evicted. WNYC's Arun Venugopal says the move to force out the organization will ease the sale and eventual demolition of the landmark building.
The West Park Presbyterian Church is a story of contrasts. Since the 19th century, its congregants have been at the forefront of social movements, including the civil rights movement and efforts to care for those affected by the AIDS crisis. However, the 135-year-old red sandstone structure is crumbling, and church officials say a restoration will be prohibitively expensive, costing upwards of $50 million. The office of Councilmember Gail Brewer says that by evicting its tenant, the church now has a chance of securing what's known as a hardship from the Landmarks Preservation Commission, which would allow it to sell the building to a private developer, which would in turn have the right to demolish it.
In other news, on this Wednesday morning, the Adams administration, is calling for the release of a Grover Cleveland High School 11th grader detained by immigration authorities last month. Derlise Snyder is 19 and being held at a detention facility in Texas. He was detained after attending a mandatory immigration hearing. In a legal brief supporting Snyder, City Hall says federal officials are making the city less safe by weaponizing the judicial process. Snyder is one of at least 3 local public school students detained by ICE in the past 2 months. Homeland Security officials have defended efforts to deport the teen, saying ICE is following the law. 74 with clouds now, a 30% chance of mid to late afternoon showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny, and 90 today. And then tomorrow, showers likely and maybe a thunderstorm, mostly cloudy, high of 82.
Thanks for listening. This is NYC Now from WNYC. Catch us every weekday, 3 times a day for your top news headlines and occasional deep dives. And subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. More soon.